Okay, so I'm eating some tortilla chips, right? And uh I get the idea to grab some salsa since what's tortilla chips without salsa? Or guacamole, I guess. So then I go into the fridge, grab some salsa, but it's a new one. So I'm trying to open it, right? But I'm having decent amount of trouble. So I'm like questioning myself, like, will I be able to open this? Like, is this the end? Is this the reason why I go into the gym and become super jacked? And I'm like imagining some new guy that's new to the gym would go up to me, and then he asked me like, "Oh, what started you getting to the gym?" He's looking for like inspiration or something. And then I said, I wasn't able to open a jar of salsa." And then the guy, I'm just imagining this guy internally laughing to himself, and I'm like, bro. Eventually, I did end up opening it. It took me like a minute and a half. 20% of it was just thinking, but I'm saved for another day. Let's go. Anyways, welcome back to another video. Wait, I don't need introductions. I forgot. Well, you know what? I'll give an introduction. I'm here to discuss my problem with Jurassic World. While there is good things that I like about it, I'm not going to ignore the bad things. Oh yeah, before I get into that, I meant to make a video on this like a few weeks ago, but I forgot I had it, and I didn't really have my notebook since I had to bring my notebook to take notes on anything interesting I found because I remember one time a while years ago, like I knew a friend who was like a movie reviewer and he did that, so I thought of doing the same thing. Not exactly like as a movie reviewer, but it was important to get because I'm obviously gonna forget, you know. All right. So one problem is, or at least one of the few, is the lack of impactful deaths. Now, if I'm going to my page, like if you didn't watch the movie, this guy, this pharmacist guy, and other Natasha. Wait, I don't know what role does Natasha play. One sec, I'll be back. Oh yeah, just in case if anyone's wondering, ask questions. I have a, I'm pretty sure Wyland made this. It's a tribute to Technoblade. I can respect that, but looks like its head is being crushed by the crown at the moment. Looks a little goofy, but hey, Wyland tried his best, so he gets A for effort. Not like I'm one to judge, but anyways, let's not get too distracted. Okay, so she's the operation expert. Their their mission is to basically retrieve samples for trial meds of the three biggest dinosaurs, which I'll probably get into more specifics on the next video. But it's from the Mosasaur, Titanosaurus, and the Petrolobita. I just call him the fly guy since I'm kind of bad at pronouncing it. So I'm not gonna really try. And he's they're coming with a team, and I call them security, the security guys. And there's only two of them that I have noted. There's the S1, which is the leader, and there's S2, which is the British guy. In here I put Brit guy. And I think later on I put S3, which is like the slightly big guy who was like taking care of the ship. He was not very much caring about the dinosaurs. So what did he say? Initially, I put him as Brit guy, then, I then realized that he's French, so I call him French guy. He like the other, there's a subplot of like the family just trying to get out of the place since it started off they were driving and then some mosasaurus like knocked down their sailboat, so then they were saved by the operation guys, even though the French guy was very opposed to it since they were close to the mosasaurus and they wanted to get the catch, not catch him, but get the DNA that they needed. So we can already tell that we want this guy to die. Not exactly die, but we don't really like this guy. So then after he dies, which is to like some Spinosaurus on the boat, we're all happy, but it's not impactful because like we all expected and wanted him to die. Then later on, the next death was the one of the other security people, but not surprisingly, I that person had such little screen time that I didn't have enough time or I don't past me didn't think it was relevant to even name the person, but I eventually did name the person when they died since that's the most amount of screen time they had, which is the gal with the short hair. I'll just call him S4 gal. And I mean, it doesn't really help the way she died because I don't know how she didn't hear a Spinosaurus sneaking up on him, but I don't know. Maybe there's. I'll probably have to look at that. Are they able to sneak that good, or could have that been possible? Per chance, but anyways, the next death was the S3 guy, like the big guy. He was swallowed, but I like he was. I'd say he's decently impactful, but not all that much. Since he did end up saving the dino guy, which is like the dino nerd that they need to make sure that they're getting the right dinosaurs, and the operations expert, which is the I don't know why I like to call him Natasha. I don't because that's I can't really remember the name, so I just call him Natasha. And he ends up saving them by throwing like a wrench or some tool at him. And I think, hey, yo, that's pretty cool. Self-sacrificial. I already like him. But he ended up getting caught by the fly guy since I don't know why the S1 and the wait, who was oh yeah, the farmer guy weren't paying attention, or at least immediately when the guy was panicking to pull him up, he should have they should have listened fast. But anyways, that guy ends up being swallowed whole by that fly, and I was like, geez, that's a way to die, I guess. And the last death was the farmer guy, the one that paid all of them to get the the DNA for the trial meds. Now, he was the one of the ones that I saw the same as the French guy. Like we kind of all wanted him to die, and it was kind of following up to that since he he was it was late. He was driving out, trying to escape with the all three DNA samples since he kind of handcuffed it to him in a suitcase, but in a car, he ends up being caught by D-Rex and eaten. So although we all wanted to like we're like yay and all that, it's not it's not necessarily. that impactful. Since there's none of like the characters that we didn't expect to die to then die. But I was almost happy because I was gonna take out this critique if they let the S1 guy die, which is the leader. Now, he was an overall great character, probably in some other video I'll do, which is like a character. Actually, no, I can't spoil too much. But there will be one or two more videos that will be based on such. Since it's a lot more interesting the deeper you look into it. Not saying I'm not saying on the best, but I guess people consider it shallow deep, I guess. But I'm getting too much of an off topic. He was like sacrificing himself for the child since the D-Rex was looking at the child, but he lights up a flare and he goes into the water to drag to like lure the D-Rex while all of them run away at the to the boat and escape. So I would have thought, yeah, that's that's pretty cool. But and we see the flare go out, and it's like, okay, I think it's reasonable to think he died. But then he shoots a flare gun above, and we're like, how did this guy survive? But this one I'm not too sad about, since I probably would have made a critique out of it, like he could have thrown it, like uh, like the I forgot. I'll just call him the ginger gal in the original Jurassic Park movie, where she like throws the flare at the Indominus Rex. So then the T-Rex fights the Indom. But so what he probably did is he probably threw it in the water and then after enough he like swam so it wouldn't be detected. Which I guess that's reasonable. But I would have liked some more, maybe one of like the subplot of like one of the family members dying, like the dad and the boyfriend taking charge and protecting them would have been fun, I guess. Maybe the boyfriend, but he was kind of having a character arc at there, so. But I could understand why none of the family in the subplot died, but maybe the daughter, I don't know. Anyways, if you guys want an explanation to what I'm doing is Dahlia's base, which is our latest SMP member since no SMP member left behind. That's the motto. I don't know when it was invented, I just invented it now, but it's the motto. So, but it's gonna be a little hectic since it's like a mountain that goes down and up. I mean, there's like a steep area, so I don't know how I'm gonna make that work, but eventually I'll make that work. Anyways, see ya.